This Saturday, college football returns to the state of South Carolina. And although there's a lot of excitement buzzing for both Clemson and the Gamecocks, there are some fans out there who have concerns with their teams. But that's okay, because tonight we're going to do our best to address some of those worries with a little thing called Watch Fox Sports Therapy. USC, you can come on in first.
Thanks, Doc.
So it says here that for the past few seasons, you tell yourself for about 8 months of the year not to get your hopes up. But once you start watching the hype videos of your team leading up to the first game of the year, you begin to convince yourself that maybe, just maybe this year will be a little bit different before being let down, even worse than the previous year. Is that correct?
Yeah. What's that condition called?
It's called being a Gamecock fan.
Well, I already knew that, but now I have another issue. Going into week one, there's a possibility that now that Luke Doty's banged up, that he might not start. And because of that, a guy that came in just a couple months ago as a grad assistant coach, USC has suited him up now. And there's a possibility that he could be our week one starter. And quite frankly, I don't feel that great about it.
Look, I understand, but don't write off Zeb Nolan quite yet. Yes, he did just arrive in June as a grad assistant, as a coach, but at the same time, too, this is a young man who did play football at North Dakota State behind a guy named Trey Lance, who, oh, by the way, just a couple months ago, he was drafted 3rd overall in the NFL draft. And in addition, Nolan also has experience of playing in 9 games as a Power 5 quarterback in 2 seasons at Iowa State. Not to mention, Shane Beamer mentioned that newly hired offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield said that after speaking with Nolan for the first time, that he might be the smartest quarterback he's ever talked to. Look, USC, who knows when Luke Doty is going to be able to return to play for the Gamecocks this season. But just keep this in mind. A lot of people had already penciled in Marshawn Lloyd to start at running back last season before he went on to tear his ACL in preseason. And that eventually opened the door for Kevin Harris to start at running back.
No, that's a good point. I mean, Harris did go on to lead the SEC in the regular season in rushing yards. So what you're trying to tell me is if Nolan starts week one, there's a good chance that he'll lead the SEC in passing yards?
No. Let's not get too carried away quite yet, all right? One game at a time. All right, who's next? Clemson. I'm surprised to actually see you here. I don't know what concerns you really have after going into another season ranked in the top 5 to start the year for a 5th straight season.
Yeah, I don't really have any concerns. I just wanted to get away from the wife and kids for a little bit, But, that's all I really wanted to do.
Yeah, help yourself. But come on, there's got to be something. There's got to be something that's bothering you heading into the season, just even a little bit, even if y'all have won the last 6 ACC championships.
I mean, yeah, I guess opening up the year against Georgia, number 3 team in the land, scares me a little bit because if they lose week one, do you think that their playoff hopes just go out the window completely?
I mean, that's a fair question. But as much as Clemson fans don't want to hear it and don't want to admit it at times, the ACC outside of last season when Notre Dame was in the conference, it hasn't been that great. And it's no fault of Clemson's. But going into this year, outside of the Tigers, there are 2 ACC teams ranked in the top 15. And outside of the SEC, the ACC has the most teams ranked in the top 15 to start the year. And while Clemson doesn't play them in the regular season, there's a good chance either Miami or North Carolina will play in the ACC championship against them if the Tigers are able to get there. The point is this, with the conference continuing to get stronger and stronger, Clemson's strength of schedule is going to get stronger too. And to start the year, it's the 5th toughest. And honestly, unless y'all get blown out in that week 1 matchup, I don't think you guys have anything to worry about, especially if you're able to run the table after taking on the Bulldogs.
I appreciate it, Doc. I'm going to take these, by the way.
No problem. Well, we'll see how things play out for both our USC and Clemson friends. Tigers head to Charlotte to play number 3 Georgia on Saturday night, while the Gamecocks welcome Eastern Illinois to Williams-Brice under the lights on Saturday night as well. The shop is officially closed for the day, but don't touch that clicker. We'll have much more. Watch Fox Sports when we come back.